Hey everybody, welcome back to Soundtown. I'm Eric.
And I'm Russ.
Today we got a super special episode of Soundtown coming right at you. We got our good friend and great drummer, Dan Sakumoto from Have a Good Season and now Save Face.
Yeah.
We had a lengthy chat with him about pretty much everything, right?
Yeah, everything to, how he got started in playing drums, which I mentioned later on. He's one of the best live drummers I've ever seen, and that is not a lie. Into how he hooked up with becoming a live member of Safe Face, and now he's about to go on tour with the likes of Mom Jeans, Pool Kids, Origami Angel. It's super stacked. He'll be gone for a month, and we were super excited for him. Couldn't happen to a nicer guy. And we brought him in for a conversation, and I thought it went super, super chill. He's always been good to our band, Eric, and I was happy to be able to catch up with him. I haven't seen him, obviously, since the pandemic. But that was a chill day. You came over to swim, and then I made everybody some snow cones. So
yeah, it was wonderful. I really needed that pool.
Yeah, no, happy to provide the swimming conditions for you. And if someone in our audience is watching on YouTube, you might see Dan with a little blue beverage, and that was a little snow cone I made for him. So incentive, if anyone wants to be on the pod, I'll make you a snow cone if you ask for it. Let's cut the dilly-dallying, and just jump right into the episode. What do you think, Eric?
Let's jump right in like I jumped right into your pool.
Good idea. Did you do a flip?
No, I can't. I'm not aerodynamic. I can't do flips.
I'm sure.
I'm sure if I jumped from a high enough point, eventually, like my body would just kind of like just from me flailing around. Eventually, I don't know what height that would be, but eventually I'd make it back around.
When you're on a diving board, what's your go-to move?
Either cannonball or just like the little pencil, because I don't really know how to do anything. So
there's one
big splash and little splash.
There's one called a can opener, where you jump in like a pencil, but you grab one of your legs and bring your knees in closest to your chest as you can. You make your body look like a little can opener, and then the wave that you make is like a can whipping open. It's pretty rad.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Rad. Yeah, so let's cannonball into this episode, if you will. Here is our conversation with Dan from Have a Good Season and now Save Face.
I take these things you say to heart. So if you say I love you, I can wait a while to turn the page and hold you on my shoulder blades.
Oh, dude, I got this in your phone.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Oh word, yeah.
It's a good color.
Dude, you gotta get the clear case. You
think so?
I dig that it's not completely covering it. That's cool. I like the color combo.
That's the one that Apple makes, and it's like they got like the MagSafe. Like if you put those like pad chargers on it, it'll charge through the case.
Oh yes, yeah.
Which I don't own one, but I was like, in the future, if I do.
Actually, I take it back. What like exactly what I just said, just because this case gets mad dirty.
I can believe that.
I like the color of it was like a seafoam green.
Yeah.
Yeah. Next case I will get it will not be transparent.
What is your favorite color, do you think?
Honestly, a color like this.
Yeah.
I've always been green, blue, so like
Same.
any kind of turquoise, like seafoam green like that is right up my alley, dude.
Sick, dude.
Yeah.
We were talking about it, but thank you so much for making the trip to chat with us.
Of course.
Honored to have you. You've always been so nice to our band and just like an all-around great dude, super talented as well.
Thanks, sir.
But I think we were trying to remember, we were talking about the last time we would have met, but what's the first time we would have met?
I remember this. We were just talking about it.
What, the Twizzler Factory?
Yeah, Twizzler Factory in New Brunswick in like 2017 or 2018. It was also the very first time that we met Elephant Jake. I'm pretty sure.
That was a really stacked bill.
Yeah. That probably could have been the first time we met them as well.
Yeah.
Because I remember us talking to the guys at Elephant Jake.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that's crazy.
That was also like Secret Mountain and Rest Assured?
Yeah. That was a stacked bill.
No way.
It was crazy.
Yeah, man, that's crazy.
They don't make shows like that anymore.
They don't.
Yeah, absolutely. Wow, that real. Big fans of obviously all those bands. Rip Secret Mountain, but
yeah.
Rest Assured was a band that like we played a few shows with them after that because and everyone on that bill too because Yeah, man. It was New Brunswick, right?
Yeah.
It's Twizzler Factory. I'm so out of the loop of like the current.
I'm sure everyone is after the pandemic. I'm sure a lot of places.
Yeah, and maybe a little bit before then. Like, I was like always trying to find what new venues were popping up and whatnot. But yeah, man, that was the first. Do you remember that encounter or us?
I remember. So I was
for the
excited,
very first time.
I was excited to see everybody. I think you guys had a certain situation where like somebody was working, so you all couldn't be there from the get-go.
That sounds about right.
So we were kind of just waiting, like, we got to meet everybody, but like, it'd be really cool to have a good season because they rip. And then, you guys come in whenever you could, and you play an incredible set, and we're like,
man.
And I think that's pretty much it. And then we were able to keep in touch over socials and stuff.
Yeah, and nice. Dude, I can't recall exactly the specifics, but like you've been coming out to maybe like a Philly show here and there. Like I do remember, I know it's been a while, obviously since the pandemic, but like when shows were full force, like we'd play a random Philly house and like I'd see you there, man, and then or like another member of Shark Club
probably, yeah. I mean, we love the scene, and it's important to support in any way you can. If you got nothing
so much.
Yeah, if you got nothing going on, your favorite band's playing, you catch up with some friends. Yeah, go do it.
No, we all of us in Hags like love that just because like, yeah, like you were mentioning, because a lot of the times earlier, and we were young back in the day, so like, yeah, we have to like. We hate to dip after our set and all that, and obviously that's not something we encourage, but everyone has different situations and whatnot. So like, but to combat that, I love that, mentality of just, if you're free, just go to a local show, and if there's a band that like you've been trying to see, but like you've just been putting it off, just see them and go to them, because a lot of my favorite bands, like, it's just been like that, just going to a show and like, wow, like I really did not expect this to be like a whole thing, but like I'm in love with this band now. So
yeah, and when you're a band starting out, I think also an important piece of that is like networking. Define that whatever way you want, but like we had a buddy of ours on a couple weeks ago who played in a band called Nowadays.
And I've heard of Nowadays.
Yeah, they're great, and we had just played a random show, and they were in the audience, they weren't even on the bill, and they were like, you guys are cool. You seem like really nice dudes. Come do a weekender with us, which we've never done before.
Wow. And
so they kind of pushed us to a new limit, and that opened up a lot of other opportunities for us. So like you just never know.
Yeah.
You never know.
Was that person Rob by any chance?
Yep.
Okay. Shout out to Rob Klein. Yeah, he helped us. I think he helped us out when we needed help for like a DC date.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Rob was big in DC. I don't think they're doing that much anymore. They're busy with
right
and stuff.
For sure. But yeah, that was super helpful. And that show in particular was one that stood out to us on like it might have been a weekender or the start of like a week-long tour. But yeah, shout outs to Rob.
You know what? That brings up. This is a fun topic I'm excited to get into.
Yeah, sure.
There's great shows that we've played, whether it's the crowd reaction or just the way that it's set up.
Yeah.
There's also been a handful of shows where the person running it has just never done a show before.
I see.
I'd love to hear like some train wreck shows in your experience. I feel like Hags or just you in general might have played more shows than we have.
Man, where to start? I want to. Firstly, none of these shows like ever. We kind of love those kind of shows that like unexpected. Yeah, like the turnout might like if you get into the technicality of it might it would be considered a bad show. But like we don't really consider those bad shows. No. Like they're just fun and like you never know what to expect. Anyway. We played at this one comes to mind because physically it like brings me back to like. Hard times. We played in Freehold, which is not too far from here. It was at a VFW, and like shout outs to like Luke Hendricks from Teenage Halloween. They were there, but I don't know if they maybe remember this particular gig. The VFW was, I guess, booked at the time, and when a lot of bands were playing in VFWs, but for some reason there was some miscommunication, and like the people that were running the VFW were like. you know, it was a bunch of older people, and they
Sure.
didn't want, you know, us young kids like
Oh,
getting
young
it.
students.
Yeah, obviously. Even though like with communication, I thought that was like transparent or like that was talked about. So they're like, well, you can play in like the VFW had like a storage barn shack or whatever it was, and it was in the middle of. It was like I mean, I'm exaggerating, but like it was like it felt like 0 degrees Celsius, Fahrenheit or Celsius. It was the coldest show that we've ever, not even played, but probably the coldest I've ever been.
Wow.
And people did come out because it was one of those bigger bills, so like there's always gonna be people from the band and whatnot. And we had fun, but it was a challenge, like physically, to get through the set. I remember Nick like was in a parka. We were all like shredding in like parkas or like in like whatever snow gear. It was really cold, and then so that's one that stuck out only because it was also next to like the Freehold prison or a prison in Freehold,
Okay.
and that also sparks where we actually played in like an abandoned prison.
That sounds cool though.
It was. That's what I'm talking about. Like. Such a cool memory in like I guess Hag's show history, but technically speaking, you know, it was kind of a dead show, but the place was nuts. It was like an abandoned prison that was underground, and it was underneath like a main street where it had like an art gallery, but like underneath, like in the basement or whatever, it looked like the catacombs, and like it was like a maze, and then in this like brick secluded room is where the band, like the PA was set up, and then the bands would play. And there was like nails sticking out, the sharp sides of nails, not like the heads of nails. Like I don't know how, like don't even. Were sticking out of the walls, so like we were all careful not to like braise the wall. Anyways, those two in particular stick out to me only because like I don't know, like playing near or in abandoned prisons. I don't know.
It's
Stick out to me. Yeah, it's a vibe. So like,
did you ever play a church venue?
Yeah, we've played a bunch of church venues. One in particular is near our scene, like Shrewsbury, Tin Falls, Asbury Park. Christ Church let us, or they lent their space to book shows in. And there's been quite a good shows that have run through there.
Nice.
I know back in the day, like Safe Face, Born Without Bones, and like Hodera, like those kind of bands have done really well in like shows there. And then obviously there might be some more dead shows that we've done as well. There's a few other churches we played. I can't remember the names, but yeah, we played.
Yeah, I asked because I was kind of racking my brain about some poor experiences we might have had. And there was this one...
What church?
There was a church in New Brunswick. I can't remember the name. But this super nice lady was like, hey, I just saw you guys play. I'm doing like an art collective thing at this church. Mm-hmm. People are going to have, their artwork, some slam poetry, but we want to bring some bands in.
Okay.
Halloween night. Would you want to come play?
Halloween night.
We're like, church show, Halloween night. Sounds cool. They're like, costumes are encouraged. Come on out.
Yeah.
So we show up. What were you dressed as?
I was a penguin. I had a big,
Okay.
one of those big, awkward, annoying, penguin suits.
Gotcha.
Like
Like
with the
full
big-
on
yeah,
penguin
like,
morph suit.
Yeah,
kinda
just
thing.
really, really bulgy and just
Yeah.
really, really, like a Halloween
Yeah,
costume.
absolutely.
And our other bandmate was a Care Bear. So yeah, that's
I see the theme.
we kind of went all out.
Yeah.
And so we show up, and we're playing in the church, where all the steeples are.
Oh, okay.
And so okay, that's pretty cool.
That's-
and I don't
yeah.
know if anyone's ever been in a church, but the reverb is a problem.
Right.
And the person running it didn't.
In
think
the
about
main cathedral, or the main room of the church.
Yeah, we were playing where the priest. would
People
be
were
giving
sitting
the
in
sermon.
the pews watching us.
So
I see.
we were.
Wow.
We were the only band playing our type of music, like alternative
Yeah.
rock. So we were loud.
Uh-huh.
The audience was people's parents.
Oh, no.
And literally nobody dressed up in Halloween costumes. So we're playing really loud. The reverb is so bad, it's blowing everyone out. We can't.
Yeah.
And it was just, no offense to the super nice person. It was a
Right.
great event for everybody else. Just
Yeah.
poorly planned from that
For
perspective.
sure.
So
Oh,
I didn't know.
man.
I didn't know if you ever had that experience in a church.
We've never. Well, any of the churches that we played have never actually been in the churches.
No, you play like
but
in the rec center.
yeah,
next to
and,
it.
like,
Yeah, the
yeah,
basement.
something like that. That's I'm getting like secondhand like cringe just hearing it. Yeah, I mean we've had similar. I guess it really depends on like. It's so funny just because like how I'm sure we've had like almost identical situations
Sure.
of like.
I mean, it's different everywhere.
Yeah, exactly. But having my bandmates like Nick and Stat, we all like tend to perceive things differently.
Gotcha.
And obviously, we're on the hopeful side, so we never try to like shed any negative light for like a bad show or whatnot. But most of the time, it's just hilarious. So
Absolutely, and we
just find it hilarious.
We were on the stage like, is this real life right now?
I feel so bad for my sister. My sister and
Oh,
her
yeah.
now husband came, and they were fully decked out in costumes. She was a naked Sim, like from the game The Sims. Like she was just wearing like a cardboard like box that was like kind of like you've seen Sims. Right? They got all like blurry and boxy.
Right.
She was wearing like a cardboard box that went like down to here, like nothing else. She had the big green thing over her head. She walked in and like she was just a naked Sim in a church, and no one else was dressed up. So I apologized to her a bunch. I was like, I'm so sorry for making you come to that. I didn't know it was gonna be like that.
Yeah,
That's
I mean,
awesome.
it wasn't our best show, but it was like one of our best stories. And
Yeah.
that kind of, experience brings you guys closer together. We got McDonald's after. It was a good night.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's a staple.
Yeah.
Bad show vibes. You just got to fix it with some McDonald's.
Yeah, something
Easy.
Well, so I'd love to cap this specific topic off
Yeah.
with like what was some of the coolest or best shows that you would have been a part of.
Oh,
Because I'm sure
geez.
there's a handful.
Yeah.
Or maybe more than that.
Yeah, I'll just go towards straight the ones that stick out immediately. So one, we played our fair share of like awesome basement shows, DIY, but the turnout was just like way overboard, and the energy and the vibe was just awesome. One in particular was like one in Jackson, New Jersey. I think like. This was like 5-6 years ago, but when sorority noise was kind of like taking off, I guess.
Yeah.
Somehow, some way, they got Cam to play, and it was also a stacked. Not on top of that, it was a big lineup, and all the bands just like killed it. And I guess I believe like our old homies in On Your Marks played, like the OG our pop punk like friends that we made back in the day. Pine Grove's another one, just because it was a Cobalt show, and the turnout was great, of course, and the show ran so smooth, and again the crowd and energy. Obviously, it was a lot of our homies, just because TCNJ's. We have a lot of friends that went to TCNJ or go to TCNJ.
Oh, and they threw some really great shows.
Yeah, and just each semester when they were just pumping out like so many good bills and bands. And that one was probably maybe not the largest, or it seemed like the largest crowd, so like technically like it got us a little bit giddy and like nervous just because seeing everyone in one place. So that was definitely a show that stuck out to us. But honestly, my favorite shows and best shows are all the ones that are on tour. And like specifically, I guess 2 summers ago at this point, we did our not first, but our longest tour to date, which was like close to 2 weeks. Yeah, I mean, the one in the house show in Atlanta, Georgia, was just everything you could dream of. The people were so nice. The everyone was so welcoming and hospitable to like the touring bands. We had all those bands with the tip jars and whatnot, but like that. We never really thought that like that would do well. Obviously, we don't expect much, but that show, people were literally lining up to just hand in bills to the tip jar. Yeah, and it was the energy, just like the show energy, and like the people are all great. So like Georgia, I'm just gonna rattle off like cities that we've been in.
Do it.
Atlanta, Georgia, Nashville was great to us. We got some pals in shoot, I can't even Wisconsin. There's a what's a popular city in Wisconsin?
Milwaukee.
Yes, thank you. I don't know why. Yeah, we got a good friend Chris from Milwaukee, and that show on that tour was awesome. We played at a venue where like they had like Death Cab for Cutie and like bands like that in that era used to roll through there back in the day, and they had their names and pictures on the venue walls. So that was really awesome. Yeah, honestly, I obviously like the bigger crowd shows are always cool.
Yeah.
Like I really have like the tour shows and like the ones that really stick out with the energy and then people coming up to us after the show. Like we'll take, like a 30 show or a 30 person show, and then all those 30 people become instant fans of ours and like have great conversations with us after the show. Then playing way more than that, and then everyone just leaving and not really caring.
Yeah, I totally get where you're coming from.
And I feel like that's a pretty common, feeling amongst like artists and people that are passionate about like what we do,
Definitely.
So.
What's the furthest away from home you think you've played a show?
Probably with Have a Good Season, and definitely probably Milwaukee. Or Chicago, whichever is farther.
Whichever's far. Those are
Midwest. The Midwest is where we so that summer tour it was the longest and also the farthest we've gone on a run, and the COVID summer would have been a full US tour, I think, which we haven't really we haven't advertised that since it didn't pan out. But a lot of behind the scenes, we had a full U.S. plan for that, and that would have been the longest or the farthest. And I want to get out to Cali, man.
Yeah,
I know.
Playing Cali.
I know.
But yeah, Chicago. I'd say Chicago, Milwaukee, that area.
That's
in the
really
Midwest
fun. That's awesome.
It's the farthest we've gone.
I'd love to know about the Have a Good Season origin story, but before that, I'd love to know your origin story.
Oh boy!
How did,
no!
What? I don't know if it was a singular experience or an artist or something that made you go, oh, this music thing's pretty cool, I want to get into it myself. Or
I'll try to sum it up in a nice tight way.
Okay.
I tend to just lose, because there's a lot, as most musicians know. There's a bunch of origin stories. It could be this or it could be that, but basically I didn't really know what music. To start off the bat, I don't come from an extra musical family. I went the cliche path of discovering, Led Zeppelin and all those legendary bands, and then I'm a guitarist first, primarily.
Okay.
And then, I pretty generic. I just stuck with it and I liked it. I took lessons for a year just to dabble in theory. And then after just the 1 year, I felt I didn't need to pay, or my parents didn't need to pay money for lessons. So after that, I was not good, just bare minimum kid with guitar just playing. That snowballed into, as early as that, I already knew Nick and Stat. So this kind of ties in with Hags. We're all from the same area. I mentioned before, near Asbury Park, but if for anyone who knows Eatontown, Tin Falls, same school system. We're all a grade or a year apart from one another. So I'm the youngest, and then Nick's 1 year older, and then Stat is 1 year older than him. We played in bands before Hags in different lineups or different instruments. So obviously I was playing guitar. And people used to say I was shredding back in the day. I was playing Metallica solos and the shreddy, classic shred kind of stuff. So I did that, and then Stat was on bass, or he was he played bass, but he was mostly on rhythm guitar.
Okay.
So he was at the time he was primarily playing guitar in bands, and Nick was a bassist at the time. Yeah, then they kind of flip flopped. So Stat. They flip-flop their instruments from bass and guitar. Yeah, so like we've gone through like 2 or 3 bands just playing. I mean, for anyone who knows, like Terrapin was one of the first bands, just like rock metal. We played like Black Sabbath, Cult of Personality.
Nice.
Those are really the only ones I can remember. We did not write music. Like we did not. It was just like
covers.
it was purely just like we did like heavier like Jimi Hendrix tunes and whatnot. It was purely just like having fun and like whatever. And I feel like that's pretty across the board, similar to like a lot of people's like origin stories. Anyways, cut to, we're done doing that. And this is where like I guess the indie comes in. Nick decided that he wanted to not play bass. I don't know the specifics, but he basically switched to like rhythm guitar and he started singing. I innately, and I have a hard time describing people like my drum history because people always ask me about it and I don't know what else to tell them other than the fact that like I never used to play and I just started playing on a junior kit with Nick just to jam with him back in the day. And I literally just started playing dance beats because of front bottoms. And like, yeah, I don't know. I'm just playing and practicing. Like I got a hang of rhythm and whatnot. I already had kind of rhythm from guitar anyways, so that was fine. Cut to, months and years pass. Eventually Hags formed. It was kind of a long time coming because we've all been in bands but different, playing different instruments. But as soon as like I was on drums for a while and Nick got a handle of singing and playing guitar, and then we got stat like, oh wait, you played bass, right? Like you've been a bassist for a while. Like you're probably pretty good at it. We jammed with him and like literally it was game over. Like that was, the chemistry was there. We were all at the time we were just getting into, I'd say, or at least for me personally, getting into bands like Built to Spill or honestly even like, yeah, I've heard of Float On by Modest Mouse before then, but that was when I was really discovering their discography, their whole discography. Cut to, listening to more math rock, Toe, and like Tricot or Trico, whatever. Yeah, exactly. Mouse on the Keys, and like it certainly helped because I owe that to like Nick because, Nick is half Japanese and half Italian, and he introduced me to like a lot of those bands from Japan that I like would have never heard of. So fast forward, like we're just building up repertoire and like eventually we get to actually writing our own songs, and I'm getting better. I'm still getting better at drums because I like Hags because it's kind of my experience as a drummer, because other than that I didn't have any. So I'm still learning and figuring out what I like and what I want to do. But yeah, that's basically how I delved into like guitar, and then bass was kind of like an easy transition, and then drums just from hat.
You're blowing my mind because everyone in Have a Good Season is so good at their instruments.
Thanks,
and
dude.
I'm gonna embarrass the crap out of you, but it's the honest to God truth, man. You are like one of the best live drummers I've ever seen. It's the truth.
I can't hear this.
So you're telling, if you never had
deal with it.
You've never had a formal drum lesson?
No. Specifically. Hey, I'm right there with you. Like people ask me all the time, and like I have a hard time trying to like describe it to them without sounding like like arrogant or
no. Look, it's not. Whatever. You shouldn't be like some people are. They're just. It comes to them, they're talented, or they work really hard at it.
Right.
I'm sure.
Work really hard.
I'm sure it's a little bit of both. It could be
Absolutely. Yeah. I'd say now, I'm grateful for like I guess that period of time where I was just like, wow, like I don't really know how I was able to, because during that time I wasn't really practicing. I was just like, whenever we jam, I was just like, let me just play this front bottoms beat, like sick, like I'm pretty good at it, yada, whatever, right? But now, obviously grown and matured musically and whatnot. It's a bit of both, absolutely. Like I won't say that I practice like every day, like I'm not as like a drum teacher or whatnot, but like I don't. But in contrast with my past, I definitely take practicing more seriously.
Yeah, for sure.
Not even just for drums, but for guitar and just overall musicianship. So, it means a lot, man. I appreciate any time people kind of come up and like, yo, like, who's the drummer of that band? Like, yo, like, a lot of people say that, like, they like watching me play. Like, it's very fun to watch me play. And I've always found that really flattering, but I still kind of don't know what that means.
It's weird.
But yeah, it's a little weird. But I guess I for certain songs in our like older discography that like people maybe throw the math rock kind of style around still, like that's like Last Picture Day or like Joseph EP. Yeah, I think people like watching me like play fast or like flail my arms
It's
around.
super technical, which I want to get into the technicality.
Yeah,
of you guys'
sure.
music. But like just from my perspective, so I'm like you. I started with guitar, and while I started guitar, my little brother was taking drum lessons, and he gave up really quick. So we had a kit in the house, and my mom and I started picking it up on my own. And my mom's like, I've got these prepaid lessons. You want to just go check it out? So I went, and I learned that everything I was doing was wrong. Which there's no really rules, but like my kick drum foot, I wasn't doing heel down. I was doing toe down.
Right.
And like I was holding the sticks wrong, and so those little things definitely helped me. So I couldn't imagine myself without at least that one lesson.
Right.
And here you are making it work.
I mean, I thank you again. But I guess to combat that, I mean, YouTube's been around and like online free lessons are like so available nowadays.
Yeah.
And I'd be lying if I didn't say like I'd maybe watch a little clip about a drum technique or a tip or advice here and there. But honestly, that stuff really helps for sure because you don't need to like pay like for an hour lesson for someone to tell you like this one small thing about how you're holding your stick or whatnot, where you could just see it for yourself, not even in a lesson. But I like watching a lot of drum cam and like a lot of my favorite drummers and how they play, and just from watching them I could just see like, what, this guy's doing something I'm not doing and I want to play like him. So what am I doing here? So stuff like that is resources and all that is super helpful. So, but I just love drums.
Do you have any like favorite drummers that you've always looked up to?
Oh yeah. I will point out that like my personal hypothesis about like why I think it was a bit more, I guess, easier for me to like pick it up. I was jamming on like metalcore, like Metallica, like Killswitch Engage was a huge. All That Remains, like I was just like jamming like guitar and like I just love the rhythm of it. So like there's some fast chugging and like triplets and all that stuff, and I got a good handle on that. And I don't know, there's probably some science behind it, but like just from that, I know it's just in your fingers, your hands and whatnot. I felt like that rhythm or that like coherence of that rhythm translated to the rest of my body.
No,
so that sense. And like it really does make sense now, since like I'm really into like like the anything that encapsulates like gent and like that kind of modern metal. I'm super into it. So like, and I mean I probably could play it if like I had a kit that was set to do all that stuff. But I think that's kind of what made me like Killswitch Engage and like jamming in my room and then playing drums. And then so I was the drummer of, I think his name's Justin Foley, maybe the drummer of Killswitch Engage, was like one of my first drummers where I looked at him as like, that drummer is like good, more than good. He's like really good. But nowadays I'll just rattle off like Benny Greb is a huge one for me. Aaron Spears. Honestly, any session player that can play anything. Like, they might be touring with, like, I don't know, like Justin Bieber or, like, Bruno Mars or whatever. Like, big acts like that, just because, like, they can do anything. And, like, whatever. But they play in literally, like, they'll do in jazz fusion projects. They'll do some more rock. They'll do some more hip-hop soul. They'll do metal. There's a few guys drummers that have ran through the band Suicidal Tendencies, because they've gone through a lot of drummers and session people and whatever, like fill-ins, and all of them have just killed it. One in particular, I can't remember his name. Oh, Eric Moore was drumming for Suicidal Tendencies at a time, and he is like well regarded in the drum community. So I'd say as of now, those are like my like faves. I mean, I gotta throw Bonham in there though.
Who?
Bonham. Bonham.
Dude, on Howard
he
Stern,
plays in that one band, you know.
Led Zeppelin?
Yeah.
I think I heard of that.
The lead, get the lead out, right?
I think it was months ago, but Howard Stern, he had a debate, Bonham or Pert.
I'm biased, but they're
I
both awesome.
Bono, right?
Bono, yeah.
It's Bono. I think he's but I mean, I have to at least throw that in there.
For sure.
But yeah, my speed more is like obviously I love the drummers and whatnot, but I like more often than not those people they're proficient or advanced proficient in like anything. So not
like the Chameleons, you know.
yeah, like they also produce on the side. Oh, they do fucking like light directing work for like this other band. Like they literally do anything or play like 5 instruments. So, like those are the people that really like stick with me. And I know most of those drummers like do. Obviously, they don't just like they're not just a savant at like drumming.
Yeah,
like, they're well rounded and all that stuff.
So is it drums over guitar for you now? You can obviously play both. No one's stopping you.
I'm gonna be honest with myself here. All right, this is a confession, I guess. As of right now, I drums for sure. Only just because from sheer like being with it and practicing it. Like, not that I don't play guitar often, but like I definitely don't do it as much or as a routinely scheduled now that I'm in like a few projects here and there.
Yeah.
I'm behind the kit way more often. So
Sure.
like even if I didn't love it before, I learned to love it more.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'd say right now I'm very much liking hitting the drums more than playing guitar, but I still love playing.
But you know, I don't want to dismiss your guitar playing because you are very talented at that as well.
Oh, thanks, man.
You post some pretty cool videos on your
I'm doing some
your
little
Instagram.
content here and there.
It's awesome, dude. It's awesome.
Thanks,
and so
man.
you know, when Have a Good Season comes together and you guys want to write a song, I'm curious what that process is like. You know, does somebody come in with most of it written? Is it a skeleton? Because it's so technical, your tunes. It seems like everybody's got to be on the same page: the drums, the bass, and the guitar.
Right.
And so I'm curious what that approach
Hey,
is.
that's a huge compliment because the process behind that is not like I wouldn't expect it to warrant a reaction like that, and I'm very glad that it does because we want people we want to give our fans and listeners as many interpretations, or we want them to experience it however they want to, but we don't want to make it seem calculated.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like we want it to come off naturally us,
Sure, yeah.
and organically. And it seems as far as the past stuff we put out, it seems like that's the case. So yeah, our process is pretty simple. We all play guitar. It almost always, or rather, I think, as far as the history of Hags goes, all the songs that had been written have always started on guitar, and it's either me, Nick, or Stat, and then it just develops from there. So like, I'll just give a quick example. It'll paint a better picture. But like, for example, like the first single off of our debut album, Shapes I've Never Seen, Sunflower Yellow, is definitely a Nick Palermo song in the sense that like he first came up with the idea, or like he.
Gotcha.
So I'll literally be as accurate as possible, but like he comes in practice, shows us the song. More than likely or not, we love it, and it's a great idea. And with Nick, he has a tendency to like write really sick parts, but then he doesn't really know what to do to glue them together. Rather, Stat and I have like come up with like songs where it's just how we write, just like super individual and like personal. But like the songs that I usually write are usually, and I don't even do this on like purpose, it just happens. They're full formed, like from start to finish. But for Nick, he usually comes up, and I think that makes sense for him because he's the lyricist, and like he's also thinking about how the melody of the words and whatever the poetry.
The cadence.
Exactly, yeah. So there's a lot more to think about. Whereas when I'm doing like a song, I'm thinking more producer like and songwriter like. So for Sunflower Yellow, it was his thing. Came up with like basically all the parts, but like, he was missing like a bridge or like transitions and whatnot. Stat and I come in and we all write together. We're all guitar players, figure out what's a cool part or like lead ideas, and then we also, are inept to like drumming and bass playing and singing and writing. So yeah, it's literally a like 33.3%, like all three of us contribute even amounts. And it was pretty, like, there's no other specifics other than that. It just like naturally happened, and that's usually the case for all the Hag songs, with the exceptions of like a song that I just mentioned about like coming more full formed, and typically Nick had been on board with like the structure, I guess. So that's, once that's formed, then obviously we can take liberties of like, what would be a sick like second guitar part, or what's a cool melody to go over that, or like it'd be cool if like Stat did a nice bass fill here or whatnot. So yeah, it's really as organic and like as natural as like I can like describe it. And it definitely, maybe one of these days we'll start on drums for one of the songs just to switch it up. Honestly, like I really, we're at that point where like you want to get a little bit more wacky and experimental than what we're used to. So like, I don't know, I might even pressure Nick to like, why don't you start a song with just words maybe, or like think about the lyrics first and don't even think about the guitar, or Stat, like start a song on bass, or think about a drum part that you might want a song to start
More
on.
bass starting songs. I'm for it.
Yeah.
Support this.
Yeah. Anyway, I mean, you didn't hear from me, but there's like a tune or two new Hags like that literally is whatever I'm describing right now. Like that's
Nice.
That's what the new stuff
very
is.
cool.
Spoilers.
Yes. Yeah. Just a little inside the window.
Well, so you mentioned you guys were supposed to go on tour. What was it, summer 2020?
Yes. Yeah.
And it obviously didn't work out because of like, the whole pandemic. But you were promoting the newest Hags release, which kudos on that because it's an incredible album.
Thank you.
And I was wondering, and I know everyone's probably living life, and you're about to go on do this other venture. But what is the state of Hags right now? I guess you guys are writing in the interim.
Yeah. It's safe to say. We don't like being too secretive, but yeah, we're in writing mode. We it's hard to say if it's gonna be like an EP or like a record or singles and whatnot. We haven't really dived down that path yet, but we are in writing mode. We have like anywhere between like not like, as far as like song ideas, like 9 to definitely like an album, definitely like another album's worth of ideas. Now half of them are like not even full flushed or whatever.
Yeah, for sure.
But I mean, in my eyes, like it's leaning towards like more than an EP.
Cool.
But I don't want to say like a whole ass like record.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
we'll
yeah.
see. So yeah, we're in writing mode, and we locked in our shows that we want to do this summer. We were adamant that like we didn't want to go crazy this summer for obvious reasons, but we also didn't want to just not play any shows. And with the state of things now, it's looking pretty realistic and plausible for safe shows to come back.
Yeah.
Here and there. So we've locked and loaded our 3 shows for the summer, and then as far as fall goes, we're writing
that's great.
new music.
Can we help you promote those, or are those still kind of
you can the one that's our locals, we're playing at Asbury House of Independence. It's
nice.
for our friends in America Part 2. They're celebrating their recently released record, Price of a Nation. And yeah, it's going to be, Pollyanna's on the bill, Dumpweed is on the bill. It's going to be a sick show. And as far as I know, like, House of Independence this is their start to come back with shows. I'm not going to say it's the first show that they're hosting there. I think they have a few shows earlier in July. But as far as this show, which is on July 30th, yeah, it's going to be a fun time. It's just going to be a good show back to, like, come back to,
Yeah, for sure.
So we have that Asbury dates, and that's been announced literally as of today. And like you could buy tickets like this Friday or like this weekend and whatnot. The other 2 shows I'll just mention that will they're not like the dates are not confirmed, but like I'll just mention that like we're hitting Philly this summer.
Cool.
So Philly heads if you want to come out and see us. And then we're also hitting Long Island, or wherever Amityville is, right? It's like near there.
Sounds about right.
Sounds
I don't know
about
for
right,
sure,
right?
but it sounds like Long Island.
I'm so
The
bad.
tri-state area.
Yeah. New York. Yeah, we were really like stoked that we could get how, you know, the stars kind of aligned, that we could get as far as our first shows back of it is an Asbury date, it's a Philly date, it's a New York date, and honestly those are like our 3 top places that
The
we
only
love
3
playing.
places in the world.
Yeah. Exactly.
That's awesome. Well, I hope everyone's on the lookout for that. If you're looking for
Yeah.
a safe place to go back to shows, it sounds like
Yeah.
these aren't bad options for you.
No, absolutely.
But I definitely want to hit on in the fall. You're going on tour with Safe Face. Which this is an incredible lineup. I don't want to forget anybody, but it's Safe Face, Mom Jeans, Pool Kids,
Origami Angel.
Pool Kids and
Origami Angel.
Yep,
right?
that is.
Origami Gang, rise up.
What a stacked
Gang.
lineup. You're going all over, right? For you're gonna be away for about a month.
Yeah.
How did this opportunity come to you to play drums for Safe Face on this tour?
Yeah. Forgive me for if I get any details wrong, because a lot of my friends have known, me and Hags and Safe Face go way back since like, for anyone who knows about like Mayflower Collective and like those kind of group of bands that formed whatever it was at the time. I don't really know still. Whatever, if it was like a PR like situation or whatnot. It was just a group of bands that we all had similar, you know, ideas, and we all became friends. So like we've known Safe Face for a while, and specifically Tyler has helped us do like, if for anyone who knows this deep, well I guess it's not really a deep cut, but we did a Last Christmas cover for like back in the day when Mayflower like did an annual like Christmas compilation.
Okay.
And it was usually like Away did like a few acoustic renditions of like Rocking Around the Christmas Tree or whatnot. And one of the years, Hags decided to do Last Christmas. And I mean, I still, not even gonna lie, like I still kind of like what we did with it. It's just like funny that we're covering Last Christmas by Wham. Anyways, Tyler, you know, he's a jack of all trades. Like at the he like recorded everything for us.
Oh, cool.
Mixed and mastered and all that stuff. So yeah, it was just a low key cover, but like I thought he did a great job and it sounded great. Ever since then, we've been in each other's radars. I've genuinely like loved everything Safe Face has done, and then I'll say, I guess my first like stint into like that world or his project, he hit me up about potentially filling in for like shows, and I'm like, yo, like, yeah, of course, I'm down if my schedule allows it and all that stuff. Like I'll do it, and I feel kind of spoiled in the sense that like my first 2 shows with them, were and this is kind of not right before the pandemic, but like maybe like a few months or like half a year before, like in the wintertime or so. One of them was a Starting Line gig, and they were like, so cool. Yeah, so they were one-off gigs, not part of any tour or weekender, just like cool show opportunities that Tyler was able to get. So yeah, one of them was the first one. So my very first show, like just filling in for them, just testing out the waters, was the start. And this was, again, I feel spoiled, but it was the Starting Line, and then we were direct support, and there was no other opening band, so it was just Safe Face and then the Starting Line, and it was at Webster Hall. Ooh. Never played Webster Hall, and it was the big room, and and it happens. Still can't really remember, like it just all flew
just
by.
Blacked out.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I think it's safe to say that like I did a fair job, and we did the second show, which was like a few months after that, and it was opening for Motion City Soundtrack, which I don't want to. I mean, both those bands are like pretty, great.
Tell me that you're alright.
So I'm saying you can't sing another lyric.
All day, all day, dude. That one wasn't. We were the opening slot, and then Matt Karakis was the direct support for his solo band, and then it was.
Oh, that's the guy from the Dashboard, right?
Matt Karakis from Citizen.
Oh, who's the guy from Dashboard? What's his name?
Matt, maybe another Matt guy.
Matt Cass or something.
Yeah. Oh wait, yeah, I think his first name is Matt.
I don't know. That's my bad.
No, you're good.
Citizen's still sick.
Yeah. I mean, if it was Citizen, I would have. Oh my god, I don't know what I would have done. But yeah, no. Matt was great. His solo stuff's always been good. So yeah, it was 2 shows. Again, did pretty fair, I'd say.
Did all right.
Yeah, did all right. And then honestly, I've always like respected Tyler, like so much as a musician, because like, I don't know, he's just like so good at like a lot of things, and like not only that, but like creatively, he especially all the stuff, if you've seen like the discography, especially with the Mercy stuff and all the music videos and whatever, right? You could really tell that he's like a big creative, and I really like, align myself with like whatever vision he's trying to go for. Not saying that like it's my same exact vision, but like it's something I'm open to. And then it literally was as simple as that. We just had conversations, and then I'm in.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was pretty smooth. Like I said, it wasn't like no formal audition process or whatever like that. Like we've known each other for a while, so it was pretty smooth transition. So
would you say this tour is kind of one of the bigger ones that you've been a part of, not only from just a scale and travel perspective, but also the rooms you're gonna play?
Yes, absolutely. I'm trying to not like psych myself out too much.
Okay, sorry.
No, you're fine. That's just who I am. Like I always tend to like, whatchamacallit, like I guess under expect. Set the bar so low, you know?
Well, that was going to be my next question. I was so curious, like, what your expectations were for this, if you're not trying to think about it, or, like, what you're most looking forward to.
That's a good question.
It's a big one, too, so I apologize.
No, you're good. I love traveling and just experiencing new... It's such a generic answer, but, like, experiencing new things in its, like, rawest form. It's just being in a new place. Is like something that excites me a lot. So, I will be in a lot of new places on this tour. I love all the bands on the bill. I don't have... The only expectations I have is just like with myself is just like do well at each show. Don't fuck up.
Just be yourself.
Just like exactly. Yeah, just like I'm just gonna like be as natural and who I am. On a tour, not think about it too much.
Got you this far.
Yeah. I suppose so. So not too bad. So yeah, I just want to have fun. I'm just like stoked.
And we're stoked.
I'm kind of like thank you. I'm kind of like the guy who's just happy to be there.
That's me. Anytime we do anything.
That's kind of a vibe I've like I guess adapted a lot.
I mean, I was just excited to see the news when you shared it on social media.
Yeah.
I figure you couldn't happen to a more talented or even nicer guy.
Thanks, dude.
Really. So.
Thanks. I really appreciate that. But yeah. I can't really say any much more of how like what I'm looking forward to. Honestly, food is like a big thing. I love trying out all the regional or like local cuisines of each, or not each town, but like whatever town is like famous for, whatever. Like this is where fucking like cheese was made or whatever. You know what I mean?
My dream job is to be like Anthony Bourdain or just have like a food show where it's just like go around and just eat.
That's what I'm actually gonna be doing. The tour is just gonna be.
It's another.
Do a little like content piece. Do a little YouTube content.
Oh boy,
piece.
I gotta bring out the vlog camera.
You'll get TikTok famous.
Oh boy.
I found this little hole in the wall. It's called Mall of America. I don't know if you've ever been.
Yo.
Sorry to interrupt the flow of this.
Yeah.
But I need to use the bathroom real quick. I've been holding it for a while. It's all I can think about right now.
Is that why you were looking at me?
Okay, what's this game y'all are talking about?
So we, at the end of each... Do you want to explain?
We'll do half and half. So we'll give you an option between this...
Or that.
And you gotta choose this.
The game is that. It's called this or that.
This or that. Okay.
Do you have any off the top of your head, Eric?
Yeah, I do.
Let me check my list while you're doing
I
that.
got a drummer question.
Oh, okay.
You're talking a little bit about math rock before, so
Yeah.
I don't know if you'll know these guys, but if you had to choose
Yeah.
between I'll give you two noisy math rock drummers.
Okay.
If you had to choose, I don't if you don't know either, just guys, I'll ask you a better one.
Sure.
So if you had to choose one or the other, Zach Hill from Hella and Death Grips, whatnot.
Yeah.
Probably a million other things, or Brian Chippendale from Lightning Bolt. I don't know if you know Lightning Bolt.
I'm less aware of Lightning Bolt.
Okay.
And for that reason, purely on a knowing or knowledge standpoint, I'd have to go with Zach Hill.
Cool. Good answer.
Yeah. No offense to what's the guy?
Brian Chippendale.
Brian Chippendale. With a name like that, I should have I should know.
Lightning Bolt is awesome, though. You should check him out.
Lightning Bolt?
Yeah, it's just
they're in the
it's
math
just,
rock realm?
Yeah, more noise, I'd say, but
More
it's
noise.
just drum and bass.
That's the guy with the mask, right?
Yeah,
Not
he
even
wears
mask.
he wears almost like a bandana around his face, and he just kind of has a telephone receiver in his mouth. Kind of.
Okay.
And the bassist plays a 5-string bass tuned to a cello, and the highest his highest
Yeah, it's
string is a
really-
I got
banjo
it.
string.
Was it Lightning Bolt?
Lightning Bolt, yeah. Check out their live shit on YouTube. There,
Is it just a
insane.
2-piece, you
Yeah,
said?
just 2-piece. It's insane.
No way. I love those types of setups.
Yeah, so it's just super wacky, super wild.
Yeah.
Are you a big Death Grips guy, Dan, or are you just familiar?
Admittedly, no, but from the stuff that I've heard and seen, I'd say that I can listen for sure. I'm not gonna say I'm a fan only because I'm not gonna lie, I wouldn't be able to name their past record or their past latest single, but from what I've heard from friends and fam.
Are you into Hella, Zach Hill's original early 2000s math rock band?
I heard no. Oh, that name does sound familiar, but I can't say I can remember the music. But I'm
Probably
sure
should
it's
have just asked you Pert or Bonham. Probably would have been better.
Led Zeppelin or Led Zeppelin. Led Zeppelin. No, you're good, dude.
You got some homework now.
Yes, yeah. I'm always looking to listen to new music for real. I'm always scouting my release radar and new stuff for sure.
All right, ready?
Uh-oh.
This was for the whole room. Deli or diner?
Oof. We're in Jersey. Oh, they're both so good here.
Why? I mean, what kind of? Can you specify the deli a bit?
No.
No. Diner. I gotta go diner. I love, and I exclusively get breakfast items at diners. And I mean, I'm sure people can relate, but I don't know, and this might just be me, but I don't know how you can have a heavy ass meal with 3 stacks of pancakes plus meats and eggs and
crazy.
milk and cream and gravy and whatever for breakfast. So I never do, and I always allot that kind of meal because I do like that. I like the items. I just can never eat it for what it's meant to be.
Right when you
eaten
wake
at.
up.
Breakfast
Yeah.
for dinner is something else.
So
it's a different beast
that is
entirely.
exactly
Yeah, I
that's
feel you.
my jam for sure.
If I'm doing that in the morning, I have to make sure I have nothing else planned for the day because I need to veg out after eating a what do you call it, a 2x2x2 they call them
Oh,
two
yeah, yeah.
pancakes, 2
Yeah,
eggs,
two
two,
eggs.
two things of meat.
Yeah, absolutely. So, and even if you're not exclusive just to breakfast, diners got options, and
Yeah.
I always just find that the breakfast is just usually better.
A staple in pretty much any Jersey diner is just a burger with a fried egg and pork roll and cheese, which is just one of my
Oh
favorites.
yeah,
Good for in the morning, good for night.
breakfast burgers. Dude.
Yeah.
It took me too
That's one of
long
my
to realize
staples.
that pork roll breakfast sandwich is only Jersey.
Yeah.
Took me way too long to realize that.
And
But
some places that know what's going on in Pennsylvania
Yeah.
and stuff, but they're far and few.
it's spreading. It's spreading.
Few and far between. Far and few. What's the saying? Few and far between.
Yeah,
Something I don't know.
few
I don't know how to speak.
few between the lines. I think.
Do you have another one there?
No. I should let you go first.
This or that. I want to see if I can think of one.
Oh,
Yeah, you got one for us.
Yeah, throw
Oh no.
it. It's okay if you don't.
I don't have one off the top of my head.
All
I was
right.
gonna go music, but I don't.
No, that's boring.
Yeah, exactly. I wanna-
Music's boring.
Yeah.
Heard it here first, guys.
I got one. You ready?
Yeah.
Diets or riots?
Riots.
Diets or riots?
Yeah. What do you? Just gotta pick.
I don't believe in diets.
I like
Just my 2
riots.
cents.
Just the idea of one.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pretend you're talking about the Paramore riot.
I subconsciously, I may have thought that. I don't mean like, I'm not like, oh, I can't wait for the next riot to like, to break out so I can,
I'm itching.
whatever, you know what I mean? But maybe subconsciously, different, exciting,
Sure.
Riot by 3 Days Grace.
just like, yeah, just think about all the.
Just thinking about like YouTube compilation videos
Yeah,
from like 2010
yeah.
now.
But I'm
Either
just
have
gonna
bodies
say,
or Riot by 3 Days Grace.
maybe I'm saying that only because my, like lack of awareness for just diets in general, because I don't know anything about a diet.
You know, everyone's on a diet these days. What's up with that?
Yeah.
What's up with that? Thank you for coming to our stand-up.
Did your weight stay?
I got one. Are you guys on TikTok at all?
I just started, and the only reason why I started is because I was putting it off for a long time. But I work in media, like I do
word.
video production. So
Okay, cool.
if someone ever came up to me and said we need to do a TikTok, I need to know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So I downloaded it to try it out, and I gotta say, I freaking love it.
I am merely an observer just
Okay.
on the platform, but I guess I'm thinking of
It's more than just dance videos.
what was that?
There's lots of cats.
I
I
think
like the cat
people,
parts.
the perception of the TikToks is just weird dance videos. I didn't know my friends told me there's a feature where you could just say not interested on, and if you come across a video like that.
And it won't be brought up again.
And now my algorithm for me is absolutely perfect. Just great stuff. It's like funny stuff, and then also like here's like a little life
Right.
hack for you, and I'm like, oh.
So let me ask you this: Do you lean more towards the or do you what would you prefer? Cute, funny animal video content, or crazy, export. Those, I don't even know how to categorize that genre of like content, but like the people that do content that like, whether it's trick shots or like crashing a car or something damaging, something just destructive.
What do you think?
No one harmed, obviously, but just something crazy.
Recently, I saw a TikTok. I guess it got kind of popular because my partner showed it to me, and I realized that I recognized the person in the TikTok as like one of David's friends from Drexel, like someone who we play shows with, and it was like POV, like you're talking to like a DIY band member after their show, and they're like, yeah, we just played like a show at Gay Baby Jail, now we're gonna be playing it, and they just say like all these real like venues that I've been to and stuff, and they sound so ridiculous, and she was just like doing it with a straight face and like naming like other bands who I know and we've played with who just kind of have like silly names, and it was just like
That's funny.
stuff like that I really enjoy, like the little niche content from my little corner.
I need to get more educated on that, because I'll admit I'm pretty basic. Like, yeah, I love a good, cat or dog or any animal.
Is that the one you would pick off of the thing you just gave us?
Yes, but honestly not by much, because sometimes there's like some crazy I don't even know what category I was trying to describe. But I think I was clumping it with like any cool content that shows like something adventurous or something that's maybe dangerous or something that's maybe risky. Like I like seeing that just because like visually it's kind of like stunning. So like, for example, and this is like a lame example, but like a scuba diver video of like in some sort of tropical place, and then wow, it's a species of fish I've never seen before. Like, that's cool for like 1 second, but it was cool. It was I was interested for that 1 second. But so that I really like. But obviously, gotta love the animals.
The animals are
No,
can't
the cat videos.
Yeah, and not even like the cute stuff's good, the adorable stuff, the funny stuff, the crazy stuff, the whatever, the rare stuff. Animals just do crazy things.
Animals be doing stuff.
Yeah.
It's they're kind of total opposites, but I think it is close. I've always been like a Jackass fan, so I might go the.
Oh, so you want to see people get hurt?
No, not even that.
I'm here for the chaos.
Some people do like cool tricks and they land it, which is great.
Yeah.
Aww.
Yeah.
But no, yeah, it crashes. What am I more likely to send to somebody? A crazy thing I saw, or like cutesy animal stuff.
Yeah.
You could just go on Google and type in cute animals.
Yeah. No, I
I
feel
mentioned
that.
this last time, but my favorite TikTok of all time. I don't have a TikTok, so I just watch whatever my partner shows me.
Right.
There was this one of this dude singing like I've definitely mentioned this on the podcast, but a dude like just sitting under a tree like with a microphone singing like a really slow like song about the time where he was at his friend's house, and he did a grab bong hit. And then he got really thirsty and he wanted Great Propel, but then he was really high and he couldn't remember if he made up Great Propel. And it was just a 15-second little song of him just singing, like, the sun setting, he's sitting under a tree, like, it's really nice.
Oh, yeah. Dude.
Just, like, weird little, like, abstract humor bits like that. I'm just a sucker for
I would even say that I prefer those. It's just harder to, for me at least, it's harder to come across those like gems of a piece.
I get them all shown to me. I've never found them on my own.
Anything that's related to like a comedy sketch or like very memey, of course, and like some sort of skit or whatever. I saw one that was having to do with Harry Potter. There's just one guy just doing ridiculous, obnoxious accents of all the characters of Harry Potter, and like they weren't necessarily. It's not one of those things where it's super accurate and it just wows you. Like that's a whole separate genre of like, oh, this is a cool, crazy talent that this guy has. No, it was just like obnoxious and super. They weren't terrible, but they weren't good.
Yeah.
But it was the way. Honestly, it's just like him. It's just the way he presented himself, the way he approached his comedy sketch idea. I was dying, dude. It was
great.
It was so hilarious.
And a lot of stuff could be hit or miss, but the stuff that hits, it's good.
Yeah.
It's good. There's so much stuff out there. It's crazy.
Man. And speaking of which, like I mean, you mentioned I might maybe make something on TikTok, like maybe I don't know, a year from now, whatever. I'm not feeling it right now, but it goes to show that like there's a lot of music content that like kind of piqued my interest, just being on the platform.
Yeah, or people like they'll make a beat and then someone will stitch it and throw a bass and then those are great.
Yeah, that kind of like community. I mean, that's been there for a while. In any social media platform, but like I don't know, like it's just another reason to like make music and like show the world and like collaborate with other people. Like I see a lot of that happening on like TikTok of people singing over other people's stuff or playing over other people's stuff and just making new music. Also, I've seen a lot of producers do TikTok stuff on there, which is cool. And a lot of it's honestly funny. Like, they're not, you get the ones that are more informative. Like, this is how I stitch up or splice or whatever. No, some of them are really funny.
They're really great.
And just making fun of producers or making fun of music in general.
Yeah.
So, that's great.
I saw a really good one. It was like this girl, she's like, guys with like no hose on their phone, like, what are you up to right now? And it's just like a dude sitting in front of a computer like clicking, and it's just like a different snare sound, and he's just going down like the whole list, and the last one he hits and he just kind of like is, oh, okay, and he makes like he makes like the okay face, and that was it, and I laughed so hard at that.
Those ones.
I've been there, just like on the computer, just like like not actually doing anything, but just like I gotta check out. Maybe the sound will sound better than the other one.
Yeah.
Absolutely, dude.
Do your due diligence.
But yeah, TikTok's a wild place.
That's awesome, man. Well, we can't thank you enough for taking the time and making the trip down here. I hope it wasn't too far of a trek for you.
No, absolutely not. I love doing this.
You got a snowball out of it.
Yeah, especially for homies, I've known you guys for a while,
Yeah.
It's been crazy.
Yeah, and I've said it before, you've always been so nice to us. I remember one instance, you were booking shows at Rowan, right?
Ramapo. Close enough.
I apologize.
No. It's,
this other side.
If you said Rutgers, Rowan, or Ramapo, I would have.
Well, no, it was Ramapo, and I remember you're like, Dowsing's coming to play.
Yeah.
Which is really cool. You're like, would you guys be interested to open? It was such a great opportunity, and it was a lot of fun.
Absolutely, dude.
Really well put together show, so I appreciate it.
Of course, man. I love doing that stuff.
Cool. Well, I mean, you're welcome back anytime if we don't get to see you before the fall.
Right.
But after, we'd love to hear all the cool stories.
Oh yeah, I'll dish out all the cool.
The highs and the lows.
Yeah, for
the
sure.
Gossip. What's going on?
Juicy gossip.
Who hooked up with who on tour?
Absolutely. Yeah. I'm always down to chat with you guys.
Cool, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah, for sure. Is that it?
I think that's it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Check.
Goodbye.
Open up this fucking can, Red Bank.
Red Bank.
Nice, dude. Yeah.
Red Bank is my go-to for being a hardcore vocalist. It's always Red Bank that I'm hyping up. I don't know why, but
Red Bank.
Red Bank.
Well, we were recording an EP with Jake Ewell from Modern Baseball, and he's like, he kept asking, he's like, where are you guys from? And it's, where are we from? We're from South Brunswick, but nobody knows that.
Yeah.
So we're like, we're like outside of Princeton. So he'd be like, oh, that's like near like Red Bank. And we're like, sure. And then he'd keep saying after each take,
Bank.
Red Bank, open up that fucking
Oh
thing.
no! Yo, really? That's
Yeah.
actually
Yeah, it's really funny.
Why did it have to be so hard for me to say I want you? Why do I feel like it's my fault when I'm not around you?
Well, there you have it, folks. Our conversation with Dan Sakumoto of Have a Good Season and now Save Face. We went over pretty much everything in that episode, Eric. Well, I mean, close to everything, because I felt like there was a million more things we could have talked to him about.
Yeah, for sure. Can't wait to have him on someday, hopefully.
Yeah, I'd
Maybe
love
we
to.
can get maybe we can get the rest of either Have a Good Season or Save Face on too.
Yeah, that'd be
knows?
super cool. Everybody in both of those groups are super cool and super nice. So yeah, it would be a joy to have them on. Maybe we'll bring Dan on after his tour, like we were talking about. Get him to spill some tea on all the cool stuff that he got to do. When did spill the tea replace spill the beans?
I don't know exactly, but I remember it being. I remember being in high school when people started saying that. So
Really?
It had to be before 2016.
Wow, I thought it was newer. I'm just out of the loop. I'm too old.
Oh man.
I'm old. Well, thank you for everyone who's listened. Thank you again to Dan. Make sure you go check him out on tour and go check out that Have a Good Season gig in the end of July. And without further ado, we'll leave you with a Have a Good Season song. I think we're going to play Shel Silverstein, one of our all-time favorites, Eric. So if for some reason you, the listener, have never heard of Have a Good Season, here is one of their top songs. And then make sure you go listen to the record that they dropped recently, because it's also incredible. So thank you again to Dan, and come back real soon to Soundtown.